What's up, team? Nsima, the Centaur Inyang here. Now, I wasn't even planning on making this video today, but a client of mine had an issue with his sumo deadlift and his setup. And I was making the video for him and I was like, you know what? This video can help a lot of you. So I ended up just making it a bigger video. Now, this video is going to be called the 4-part deadlift. I don't know, but we'll see. But the main thing and the main problem a lot of people have is knowing how to take slack out of the bar and having a very inconsistent deadlift setup. Typically when people walk up to the bar, they do all these crazy shenanigans that they actually can't keep consistent. And then the second thing that people typically do is another problem. They'll try and maybe they're trying to take slack out of the bar by continuously pumping into the bar and then driving their hips through. Another thing that they can't typically replicate with maximal weight. The third big thing with doing the sumo deadlift is they'll bring their hips really, really low and have maybe a good looking starting position, but that good looking starting position doesn't actually help them produce a lot of force, because when you bring your hips straight down, you're not able to produce adequate force from that position into the bar to actually successfully finish your sumo deadlift. So in terms of the 4-part deadlift, it's this simple. You walk up to the bar. Number 1, you get your foot position. Number 2, you hinge at the hips. Number 3, you grab the bar. You break the bar. You pull the bar. Number 4, you bring your hips back and down and drive your hips through. In this example of a 725-pound deadlift I did the other day, I did this exact same thing. I walked up to the bar. I got my foot position. I grabbed, I broke, I pulled on the bar, brought my hips back and down and drove them right through. Okay, I call this tension hunting. When you bring your hips back and down, you're actually taking slack out of the bar to drive your hips forward. As you'll see, the bar bends a little bit as I put force into it and drive it forward. Now, a big issue that a lot of people have, for example, when I mentioned when they bring their hips too low, since they don't take slack out of the bar, you see all this instantaneous force. If you watch a lot of individuals deadlift, you'll see this jerking motion when they try and pull the bar off the ground. What kind of problem does this have? When you do that, what the bar does is the bar dictates where you go. You don't dictate where the bar goes. So what ends up happening is when they have this instantaneous pull, if it's a maximal load for them, their torso will lurch forward, they'll try and finish the lift. Sometimes they'll do it successfully, and a lot of times they'll fail. Now, a person I like to watch as an example of this deadlift is Yuri Belkin. He has a very consistent pull every single time. We do the same thing, which is why I love the dude so much. But he hinges at the hips, he grabs the bar. Sometimes he'll pump once, try to just take a little bit of slack out of the bar, but he'll typically grab, break, and pull on the bar. Then he'll drive his hips forward and finish the deadlift. Now I'm gonna explain something in a little bit of detail, because the grab, break, and pull might not make much sense to you. The grab probably does. But when I talk about breaking the bar, I've mentioned this many times before. When you break the bar, what you're trying to do is create torsion and activate your lats. Okay, so you're breaking the bar to activate your lats. While you're doing this, you're still keeping your arms long. Now, the pull part of the deadlift, this doesn't mean that you're actually trying to pull on the bar. The initial pull that you do is just to take a little bit of slack out of the bar, so that when you're bringing your hips down, you've taken maximal slack out. So what does this pull even mean? It means you keep your arms long and your torso will rise just a little bit to take a little bit of tension out of the bar. And then, obviously, we talked about not bringing your hips straight down, because even though that looks like a good deadlift position, it's not a great place to produce a lot of force and you're not able to take as much slack out of the bar. But if you bring your hips slightly back and down, you'll end up bringing it just enough so that you'll be able to feel where you actually need to drive your hips through. That's why a lot of times when I actually have 4 or 5 in hand, if I bring my hips down, back and down too much, the bar will begin to float. So I drive my hips through at the point where the bar is just at that sweet spot, then I'll drive my hips through. It'll take a little bit of time for you to figure out where that spot is for you, but it's really not that difficult, and it's very easy to replicate if you do it enough times. So if you guys have any questions about anything I've mentioned in this video, please let me know. The 4-part deadlift. If you can make your lift as simple as possible and as consistent as possible, I guarantee that you'll be lifting more weight in literally no time. Don't quote me on that. Either way, I hope this helps all of you out. This is Nsima, the Centaur Inyang from Break the Bar, be an anomaly, and I'll talk to all of you very, very soon.